Hi, I'm Bart. Today we're going to go over with you exterior seal maintenance of your RV. Understanding the responsibility that comes with the purchase of a new recreational vehicle can be very important. This video will help you to protect your investment.
First, maintenance is required by you, the owner. We don't tell you this to alarm you, but rather to inform you. The more you know, the more successful you will be with your Keystone RV, which will help you to avoid costly repairs. A lot of the information you need can be found in the Keystone Owner's Manual, Section 1, Owner Responsibility, and Section 13, Maintenance.
In this first-time camper video, we want to show you a little about how a Keystone RV is built. Let's look at a couple sidewalls before components are installed. These openings are what will need seals checked periodically to avoid water intrusion and damage. Let's review some of the common types of seals that we use on our products: rubber seals, foam tape, butyl, and putty tapes, silicone sealant, and GSL for redwood products.
Periodically, as an owner, you will want to inspect your RV sealants. You'll want to do this at least twice a year, thoroughly front to rear, top to bottom, and more often when convenient. We are looking for seal voids, cracks, shrinking or deteriorating from age and sun exposure. These will need replaced over time and may need more maintenance based on where you have traveled. A sunny and warmer region speeds the exposure and deterioration rate. Just be aware and keep an eye out for this to happen. So we've got everything laid out here. We got our caulk guns, our sealant, our butyl and putty tapes, Stanley knife, some alcohol for cleaning, some rubber gloves to protect your hands because silicone can get pretty nasty, rags, and a putty bone, which is used commonly in the RV industry for cleaning surfaces. So we have two guns here, you'll notice. One is a really more of a cheap version. It's just pretty simple. You cut the tip. If you have to pierce the foil inside, you can use this to pierce the foil. And then you load it into the gun, load it up, and squeeze. But we're gonna use the nicer gun that we have here because there's more control with the pressure of the caulk coming out of the tube. So we're gonna open that up. We're gonna grab our tube of caulk that we're gonna use to, this one we're gonna use to seal this other side of the unit. And we use a Stanley knife to cut our tip. Now, when you cut a tip, you're gonna want to cut it at an angle first, and second, start out small. If you wanna go bigger, you can always go bigger. But some of these, like this, you only get one chance. So once you cut that tip, you got to deal with what you got. Now on this one, what we have here is a replaceable tip, so that's what I'm using for demonstration today. I'm just going to judge what I think is right for where we're going to start, and I'm just going to take that knife and make sure nobody's in front of you and just pop that off. You could cut it with a pair of scissors, but it might squeeze the tip together and then make your bead a little more difficult to work with. So once we've got that cut and ready to go, just put it into your gun, deploy the plunger there, and now we're gonna load up our tip. So we're just gonna squeeze the trigger until we get just enough coming out the top there, and you stop. I let go of the trigger, it stops pumping. If you use this one, you'd have to release the back end of that to get it to stop. And that can be pretty messy. And I think we're ready to go.
Okay, on this spot here, we found a sealed void from the housing of the outside shower to the sidewall of the trailer, and that silicone sealant has just shrank and pull away. So what we're going to do is clean this area, and then we'll come back and silicone this area. We'll start by removing the exposed silicone. Okay, now that we've got it wiped down, we'll take a rag and some alcohol and we'll just clean that area in preparation for the silicone sealant. That'll give us a nice clean surface for the silicone to adhere to. We'll start just a little bit further back from the affected area. We'll cover the affected area and then go on around to go beyond it as well. And there's a couple different ways of smoothing it out. You can either get soap and water and smooth it out. You can go with a dry finger and smooth it out. What I do for that is I simply remove the glove at this point. I'll wet my finger, and then I just take my finger and go over what I just did, and it'll look like this. And as you can see, it's a nice clean seal that covers the whole area from the shower to the sidewall itself. You will need to do the same with your roof, but more often. We recommend a minimum of every 3 months for a roof inspection. Let's check the roof of this RV out and see what we find. We have to caution safety on a roof. It is paramount. However, if you do not feel comfortable or the roof itself is wet, do not do it. We recommend contacting a Keystone authorized service center to help in these situations. Hey, we're up on the roof and I got a few things to point out this afternoon. We have some common areas and questions that we get asked, and I'll point these items out so you can see them safely up on this nice dry roof. So to start with, it's very common to see these seams that have bubbles. If I push on them, you can see it move up. The roof decking on an RV is 4 foot wide, and this is where the two pieces of decking get pushed together. Well, because air moves, it will move in and out from the interior of your unit, and so this membrane will breathe, and you'll see it rise, and it's totally fine. If you get an air bubble, like in the center of a piece of decking, that's okay too. Air bubbles are normal and they're common, they don't hurt a thing. And then probably the biggest question we get is when you see staples poking through on the roof, because the decking is stapled down across the roof rafters, and periodically they will work loose and you'll see them. So staples are very common. There's nothing wrong with you see them. This is a very thick membrane, and it would take a lot for that staple to actually push through the membrane. Typically it won't through the lifetime of your RV use. So if you would like, if it's an area of concern, you don't need to, but you sure can, is just put an area of self-leveling sealant over it. So in the event that it did push through, you would have protection over it. And what we're looking for on sealants is splits, cracks, maybe shrinkage if it's in a hot area of the country. And what happens is where this piece is attached to the roof, if this sealant shrinks, they'll pull apart from each other. And then you would just need to go in and touch it up. And one of the great benefits of an alpha roof is that you don't have to peel all this off, you can just repair it. This is a holding tank vent pipe, and the sealant around it looks good. And as I crawl forward, we have a bathroom vent, and again, just checking for the condition of the sealant. It's nice, it's pliable, there's no cracks, and everything is clean. And creeping a little bit forward, the customer brought to our attention that he saw low-hanging limbs when he backed in on his last trip, and he actually heard it poked into a sealant. So we're going to take care of that for him today. And then the last thing we would see would be our, what we call a transition molding, a front transition molding, which is where the front cap or front metal on this unit would start, and then the roof ends. And we'll give you a shot of that. So again, just looking for the condition. If there's any cracks, voids, we would touch them up. Okay, so we're gonna put a little cleaner on this rag, And for cleaning, we just like to use mild soap and water is all we need. This is a rubber TPO roof, so we don't need any petroleum products. So we'll just wipe this off, clean it up, and get ready for the new sealant, the self-leveling sealant. Clean and dry. Clean and dry is good. And on this one, this is Alpha self-leveling, and there's two kinds of sealant you want to use on the roof. One is self-leveling, and what that means is when I pour this out, it'll just ooze. And then if you're working on your side moldings that would go over the edge of the roof, you would want to use what's called Alpha non-sag. And that means it won't ooze, it'll just stay where you put it. And what I'm going to do is I'll just start in the middle near the cap, and I'll work it around, and it will just ooze out into place. You can just leave this sit, and overnight it'll dry, and it will just continue to ooze and just level out. So that's all there is to doing a repair, and we just went right over the old.
For more information on your Alpha roof, we suggest you watch this video, Your RV Roof Care and Maintenance, on KeystoneRV.com.
Walking around your RV doing this is the perfect time to also review additional maintenance items like lubing compartment doors, entry door locks, and lubing hinges. Maintenance and regular overall cleaning of your Keystone RV puts you in a better position to enjoy your RV and maintain its overall retail value for a good long while.
If you found this video helpful or have other suggestions to camp better, please leave us a comment. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more First Time Camper series, or visit KeystoneRV.com to see all of our content.